Hi, the SI meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, May 21st. Of course, there was a devastating tornado that ripped through portions of Oklahoma yesterday. Specifically, it struck a suburb of Oklahoma City called Moore, which is quite a large suburb, some 20 miles to the south of Oklahoma City. It houses some 55,000 residents. The tornado struck just before 3 p.m. local time. We'll first start off with a time-lapse video of the tornado, and then we'll get into some of the weather conditions behind the severe weather setup that occurred on Monday. That same overall weather pattern continues today with the threat for more severe weather in places like northeastern Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, all the way up into the upper part of the Midwest. That area for severe weather potential shifts tomorrow slightly to the east into the Ohio Valley, and then perhaps into the mid-Atlantic and northeastern part of the country later on the day, Thursday into Thursday evening. So let's first start off by showing this time-lapse video that's available on the phillyweather.net website. It comes through a TV station Fox 19 in Cincinnati. There it is, the tornado on the ground, again just before 3 p.m. local time. Some estimates have it as a mile wide. It was on the ground for quite a long time, and it is preliminarily anyway ranked as an EF4 tornado on a scale of up to 5 being the most intense. Now that can change over the next several days as some tornado experts are out there on the field, and they'll take a look at the damage on the ground and perhaps can adjust the current ranking of this tornado, which is again an EF4. Some of the preliminary estimate for the winds are certainly more than 200 miles per hour. Again, that'll be reevaluated over the next several days, several weeks, as tornado experts are out there on the field and examine the damage on the ground. So let's now take a look at some of the weather conditions behind this devastating tornado that occurred yesterday in the state of Oklahoma. Well, for much of the spring we talked about the fact that it was a very quiet tornado season. One of the main reasons is that the kind of the cold weather pattern that we've had across the central and eastern part of the country up till about a week ago suppressed the advance northward of very warm and humid air off the Gulf of Mexico into the south central part and the central plains, and that is a main ingredient necessary for the formation of severe thunderstorms and tornadoes. In about the last 7 or 8 days or so, that pattern has changed. The cold air has kind of retreated to the north, and we have had the influx of some very warm and humid air at the low levels of the atmosphere into the middle part of the country and the eastern part of the country. Dew points yesterday, for example, here in the Mid-Atlantic region were way up in the 60s, and that very humid air will continue for the next couple of days. This is a map from coolweather.com that actually shows the trend over the past 10 days, and it kind of points out how there's been a sudden influx of more humid air at the low levels of the atmosphere. What we see here is the percent of land covered by this particular line here shows dew points of 70 degrees or higher, and about 10% of the land has that kind of a dew point value. Here's 60 degrees and higher, and this is 50 degrees and higher. And the main point I want to make here is that the trend has been up in the last 10 days or so since May 14th, May 13th time frame. The trend in dew points has been up across the nation, and that is that was a missing ingredient for much of the spring. But again, over the last week or so, the dew point trend has been up. A main ingredient. One other main ingredient that is definitely in existence right now is the upper level support. Let's focus in on that next. And here it is, the 500 millibar map from last night, just a few hours after that devastating tornado struck Oklahoma. This is the upper level pattern of 500 millibars and a strong upper level low right here, representing some cool air in the upper part of the atmosphere. So in the upper part of the atmosphere, they've got a cold upper level low, and in the lower part of the atmosphere, we have this influx off the Gulf of Mexico that, again, started really increasing about a week ago. The dew points even reached the mid-60s way up here in the Mid-Atlantic region yesterday, and there certainly was enough moisture in the low levels of the atmosphere to help destabilize the atmosphere. It's very warm, humid in the lower parts of the atmosphere, and cold upper level low here spinning out over the central part of the country, and that is a recipe for severe weather, and it continues again today. Perhaps the biggest threat is a little bit farther to the east compared to yesterday in this region, like here from north and northeastern Texas across Arkansas and Missouri. And all of that will shift slowly to the east over the next 48 hours. Now here's a radar loop from yesterday from the weatherunderground.com website, and it shows a classic, what we call a hook echo associated with tornadic activity here. Right here, you can see this kind of curlicue here, a hook echo on the radar showing up, and a little enhancement right there at the end there. That little red area is kind of a debris ball that shows up on radar echoes. Actual debris off the ground helps to intensify the radar echoes, and you can see this really enhanced area right at the end of this hook echo. This is headed right over Moore, Oklahoma at this time, Oklahoma City up to the north, the area called Norman, Oklahoma, where the Storm Prediction Center of NOAA is actually located. Moore is some 20 miles to the south of Oklahoma. Again, a classic hook echo associated with this EF4 tornado. Well, here's kind of another classic signature associated with severe thunderstorms. This is off the Capital Weather Gang website, and it shows a kind of a flip back and forth between the visible image and an infrared image, with the colors, the deep reds here indicate the coldest, highest cloud tops. Moore, Oklahoma is right in this region right here, so you have generally the coldest cloud tops are the most severe part of the thunderstorm. You see not one but two, actually three separate cells here with the Moore, Oklahoma tornado right in this region right here. So kind of a classic signature from a satellite point of view. Just a moment ago we looked at kind of a classic hook echo signature using the radar. Well, one other kind of amazing twist to this whole story is that there was a very similar situation that occurred in the same area, Moore, Oklahoma, back in 1999. In fact, this is the radar echo from the 1999, showing the same kind of a hook right here with a little debris area at the end of that hook, and this is a still image from the radar yesterday. So again, very similar situation occurred in 1999 over the same area. In fact, we'll take a look at the track of that particular tornado. And here's a comparison of the track of a similar tornado in the same area some 14 years ago in 1999. This is the track right here. Moore, Oklahoma is situated right here. This is the track that a devastating tornado took some 14 years ago as compared to yesterday's track. Very similar situation here. Again, striking Moore, Oklahoma both times back in 1999 and again yesterday here in 2013. So we'll continue to monitor the situation. Again, the same weather pattern with very warm and humid air in the lower levels of the atmosphere and the strong upper level low in the in the 500 millibar level continues for the next couple of days. We'll stay tuned to the SIweather.com as we monitor that over the next 48 hours. That's it for now. I'm the SI meteorologist, Paul Dorian.